Kaleidoscope, a weekly public affairs program brought to you in partnership with the Urban League of Greater Cleveland, Kaleidoscope Magazine, and News Channel 5.
Good morning, everyone. Good to have you on the broadcast today, and a good one, we promise you, as we always have a good one. The annual Cleveland One World Festival takes place this weekend, September the 13th and 14th at Cleveland Cultural Gardens, and Executive Director James Levin is here to tell us more about this event, which brings together more than 120 of Northeast Ohio's nationality groups. Then Laura Hoffman of Autism Speaks will tell us about the annual walk to benefit that organization, and later in the broadcast today we'll hear from Karen Butler and Deborah Booker about a local conference geared to Christian women. Good morning, I'm Leon Bibb. The show is Kaleidoscope, and so we begin. Beginning with James Levin, Executive Director of Cleveland One World Festival. Good to see you, James.
Great to see you, Leon.
Yeah, always good to see you, my friend. Tell me about this Cleveland One World Festival. What is that?
Well, I like to say it's a celebration of diversity. There's incredible diversity in the city, as we all know, and but what it really is like the best kick-butt block party that Cleveland has ever seen. There'll be over 100 different groups performing on 7 stages from 50 different countries and cultural groups. It's going to be pretty amazing. It's free. It's among the cultural gardens from Superior to St. Clair on East Boulevard and Martin Luther King. And it's this coming Saturday and Sunday, the 13th and 14th.
We're all looking for big parties that stretch big plots of land like that. You're celebrating nationality groups. Tell me the thought behind that.
Well, the thought behind it is just picking up any newspaper, and you look at the strife among people, cultural groups, races, ethnic groups that you see daily. It's hard to read the newspaper. So this is an event where people are going to be inspired to explore the music, the food, the dance of other countries, as well as their own, in the most amazing setting that Cleveland can offer.
And that is the Cleveland Cultural Gardens.
The Cleveland Cultural Gardens. It's a kind of a sleeping, I can't say it's a secret because people drive through it every day on the way to the Shoreway or on the way to University Circle, but there are rare times when people are actually inspired to stop and explore. So we're closing down Martin Luther King and East Boulevard. I want to make sure that people know that. So if they have to take another route if they're going somewhere else. But we're going to be turning the entire gardens into this huge festival of dance and music.
I will tell you, as I told you before we started the broadcast, it is among my favorite places in the entire world. The Cleveland Cultural Gardens, just a beautiful.
Oh, it's your old stomping ground.
Where I grew up, right in the Glenville area.
Right.
But the Cultural Gardens run on East Boulevard and on Martin Luther King Drive, the 2 roads that are parallel between Superior and St. Clair.
Right.
In pretty much in the Glenville area.
Yes.
Mostly through the Glenville area, and you're having this big event. Now, what kind of events are we talking about as we celebrate Saturday and Sunday, September the 13th and the 14th?
There's an incredible variety. Embedded in our event is the International Folk Festival that's taking place on Saturday, so it's more of a heritage, traditional event that's going to feature traditional music and dance of Ireland, Africa, Latin America. But in addition to that, the rest of it runs the gamut, from the contemporary hip-hop from Kenya to an R&B group from Burkina Faso. It's the most very modern and the most traditional, very eclectic on all 7 of our stages.
This is the 2nd year we've done this, right?
It's the 2nd year, completely free. And this year we're trying to go green. We're trying to set a new bar with sustainability, since it's about the planet and all the countries and peoples in it. So we're asking people to not bring their usual water bottle, but to bring the water bottle that they can be filled with the free water that we're bringing from the city of Cleveland.
You're providing everything. You're providing that.
And that's right.
I think, and tell me a little bit about the Cultural Gardens now, for our audience, because like you said, it is a well-kept secret on the horizon to many people. They don't realize what these gardens represent.
It's true. Unique to Cleveland are these 31 different distinct gardens, each kind of reflecting the ethnic group or cultural or national group which they come from. For example, there's a very Romanesque style and a Romanesque fountain in the Italian garden. Anyway, so the gardens have been around since 1916. The very first garden, so in 2 years we'll have our 100th anniversary. But the gardens were created with the idea of celebrating peace. So in this time, What could be a better event to celebrate diversity, culture, music, and dance within the spirit of peace?
And these gardens virtually run from the East Shoreway all the way to University Circle.
They do.
All the way to University Circle.
do.
But you're blocking off Martin Luther King Drive and East Boulevard between
Right.
Superior
And St. Clair.
and St. Clair.
And that's the heart of the festival.
That's the heart of it.
Right.
That's the heart of it. What do you want people to walk away with from this festival on Saturday and Sunday, September 13th and 14th?
Well, that's a great question. Two things. One is that they have a resource that's so much in the center of town that they can come to year-round and have other activities. They could have picnics, they could get married, they could have other events, cultural events throughout the year. People should rent a bicycle, which we're providing, and explore the gardens one by one. They should come back and really see this as a place that they can come back to. And people should also be aware of the great diversity here. They should sample something that they've never sampled before. We're having also a celebration of food and sports of the world. We're going to have soccer and basketball and badminton and table tennis right on Martin Luther King. So we're encouraging people to do something that they haven't done before, taste something and listen to something that they haven't done before, and walk away with a real appreciation of the diversity of the city.
And people can find more information on ClevelandOneWorldFestival.com.
Right.
ClevelandOneWorldFestival.com. And what time does this event begin on Saturday and Sunday, September 13th?
There's a wonderful parade on Saturday led by the Shaw High School Marching Band. And that starts at 1 o'clock, and that'll kick off the event. The traditional One World Day activities will follow that on the main stage. It'll continue until 9 o'clock. On Sunday, it runs from 1 to 7. The final event being the Opus for 1,001 Drums. We're going to be celebrating the drums of the world in this kind of amazing event that we're creating.
And if memory serves me correct, their cultural gardens just reflect the backgrounds of so many Clevelanders who have heritages which began on the other side of the ocean.
Clevelanders, as well as iconic figures from each of those countries. So it'd be a great way to learn about something outside of
As
our
I told you, I grew up 50 yards away from the Italian Cultural Garden. We were in the cultural gardens all the time as children. The Italian and the British and the Hebrew garden, the German garden, the Russian garden, the Finnish garden, now the Indian garden, just so many of them all along that.
And all of them are going to be
space.
involved. So I'm going to expect you to come back home.
You know, I want to
This
be
weekend.
back home. I would love to do that. I want to do that. September the 13th and the 14th. That's a Saturday and Sunday along the Cleveland Cultural Gardens. It is the One World Festival. ClevelandOneWorldFestival.com, and you can find it right there at the Cleveland Cultural Gardens between Superior and St. Clair on Martin Luther King Drive and on East Boulevard. It is a parallel roads, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful location. Thank you, James.
Thanks for the opportunity to be here, Leanne.
James Levin is Executive Director of Cleveland One World Festival. I'm going to take a break. This is Kaleidoscope. I'll be right back in just a moment with another a guest who will talk about a fundraiser for autism. Back in a moment. Welcome back to more of Kaleidoscope. The annual Walk Now for Autism Speaks Cleveland takes place at Progressive Field on Sunday, September the 14th. Laura Hoffman is Director of Field Development for the Cleveland office. She's here to explain how you can support this wonderful, wonderful event. Good to see you, Laura Hoffman.
Thank you. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. What's the mission of Autism Speaks?
Sure. We raise awareness and research and advocacy for those living with autism and their families.
We hear a lot about autism. What is autism?
Autism is a developmental disorder that can affect a person's ability to communicate and socialize. Many times those with autism will have repetitive behaviors or other mental or medical issues.
There's a term that I have in my notes here, autism spectrum disorder.
Exactly, and that's what it is, because it's a wide spectrum of those that are living with autism. So you'll have someone on the lower end of the spectrum who might need an iPad to communicate, and then you'll have others that are able to sit here just as you and I are and have a conversation and have a job and go to school. So when you meet one person with autism, you've really met one person with autism. And though triggers might affect both of those individuals, they're all just very different.
Do we know what causes it?
We do lots of research. We fund things even here locally in Cleveland. There's a large research grant over at CASE, and we continue to look into the many causes. We do believe that it's a matter of a mixture of environmental issues and potentially other things, but we're still looking to find that answer.
Increased instances of it too?
It is. So the numbers are currently 1 in 68 children will be diagnosed with autism, 1 in 42 boys. So clearly there's something genetic as well, but again, we are still doing lots of research to find out those answers.
So to fund the research, we need to raise some money.
Absolutely.
It's always
absolutely.
a good thing to raise the money to,
Right.
to fund the research. And you're going to have a big event. Tell me about this event at the baseball
Sure.
field.
So the Walk Now for Autism Speaks is our large fundraiser that we do in over 100 cities. And we're so fortunate to have one here in Cleveland and bring it back to Progressive Field where it all began 8 years ago. So we're anticipating around 4,000 people to attend our event, and we're going to raise around $300,000. So that's just fantastic.
That's on September the 14th, a Sunday.
Yes, Sunday, September 14th. Lots happening that day, but we will have our walk. Registration begins around 8:30, and we'll get our walkers going around 11, and everyone will be out of there so they can catch the Cleveland Browns game.
Who'll be playing at the other ballpark?
Absolutely.
How do people get involved in this for this walk?
Sure.
And to raise money or to send you money? What
Sure,
do
they
do?
can go to our website and register as a team or an individual and come down and walk with us at walknowforautismspeaks.org/Cleveland, or they can call our office, and we're more than happy to come out and do awareness with them and collect money and do other fundraising activities.
You've got a well-known master of ceremonies who's going to be working with you too for this event on Sunday, September the 14th at Progressive Field.
Yes, we're so fortunate that Jason, from Channel 5 comes out to our walk every year, so we're happy to have him back.
Jason Nicholas is one of our premier meteorologist here who keeps us apprised of the weather. I know you've talked to him doing whatever he can do for a sunny Sunday, September the 14th.
The current forecast looks good, so we're holding him to it for some sunshine.
What do you want people to, they're going to do this walk, but you want them to be cognizant of what as they participate in this program?
The walk really tries to bring awareness to autism. It's a family-friendly event for those with autism, so we encourage our families with autism, or even those that maybe teach someone with autism or have another relative with autism, to come down and celebrate the 1 in 68 that we have here, and just to bring more awareness to what autism is and how we can help to fund the treatments and prevention of autism.
We've got a phone number on the screen that our audience can write down. It is 216-524-2842, as you see at the bottom of the screen, or you can go to autismspeaks.org. autismspeaks.org. You can get more information on everything we're talking about. Now, it's all going to be inside Progressive Field, inside the ballpark?
It's actually a mix, so we'll have a lot of activities out on Gateway Plaza for kiddos and young adults alike. We have Home Depot coming out doing crafts. All of our wonderful service providers here in the area will come out and do kid activities, and then inside we'll have entertainment, lots of bands and things going on there, and then the walk will actually end on the warning track of Progressive Field. So it's a nice mix of being inside the field and out.
A good place to get to be actually on the field where the Cleveland Indians play baseball all the time.
It's going to be a wonderful event. We're very excited.
But more than a walk, entertainment in and around Progressive Field with all kinds of booths and all kinds of information and kind of a carnival circus-like atmosphere for.
Absolutely. If our families are going to make the trek down to Cleveland, and we want to make sure that they're going to have a great time. So lots of activities, princesses, crafts, really anything that they would want to keep themselves busy. From 8:30 until our walk starts around 11, we'll be able to do that.
All to benefit research for autism.
Absolutely.
Okay. Laura Hoffman is Director of Field Development for the Northeast Ohio area for Autism Speaks. Good to have you on the broadcast. And once again, it's going to be Sunday, the walk, Sunday, September the 14th at Progressive Field. What time do you start again?
8:30 registration begins.
8:30 in the morning. My good friend and colleague Jason Nicholas will be there as the Master of Ceremonies. He'll do you well. He'll give you a good job.
No doubt. Thank you so much.
Jason always does. Good to have you with us, Laura Hoffman.
Thank you.
Take care, my friend, and tell everybody at Autism Speaks that we love them.
I will.
For what you all are doing.
Thank you.
Thank goodness you're there. Log on to Newsnet5.com each week to see what's coming up on Kaleidoscope. Well, coming up next, a local conference for Christian women. I'm Leon Bibb, taking a break, but I'll be back in a moment. You're in touch with Kaleidoscope. I'm Leon Bibb. Good to have you with me, always on this broadcast. The Cleveland Church of Christ Citadel of Hope Ministries is hosting its 2014 Women's Conference. Karen Butler and Deborah Booker are both here to tell us more about the event, and we welcome them. Karen Butler on the right in the red, and Deborah Booker on the left there in that wonderful blue. Good to have you both with us.
Thank you.
Tell me about the Cleveland Church of Christ Citadel of Hope Ministries. What does it do?
Sure. So the Cleveland Church of Christ Citadel of Hope Ministries is a resource to the community. We've served the community for many, many years, and it's a place of refuge. It's a place where you can get spiritual, nurturing, and we're really excited to be a part of it.
And we all need those kinds of things.
We
in
certainly
our
do. It's
lives.
under the leadership of our Bishop, Lincoln C. Houghton III, and he provides excellent support to us.
I know him. Tell him I said hello, won't you? Yeah. Deborah Booker, tell me about this 2014 Women's Conference now. What's going to happen at this Women's Conference?
We are so excited about it, Leon. We have first time gone off campus, so to speak, and we're going to be fellowshipping at the Cleveland Marriott East in Warrensville Heights. And our subject is women of value and worth, blessed to be and blessed to do. And so we're going to try to empower the women so that when they leave, they'll be exhilarated and ready to go forth to serve the Lord.
I love that word. It's going to be exhilarated. We're all looking for exhilaration, too. Right? It's a good thing. And it's going to be October the 31st and November the 1st?
That's correct. It's a two-day event held on both of those days.
Yeah. What do you expect to happen? What do women get out of this?
Absolutely.
Event?
This is going to be a wonderful event, and we have a number of exciting activities planned for our women. In fact, on Friday evening, there will be a welcome reception, and that's going to be followed by an opening banquet. And the name of that will be called Club Soteria, and that's the Greek word for salvation. And our unity colors are gold and red, which I've chosen to display today.
And we have that on your information here too, gold and red.
Certainly. And it's going to be a fun and uplifting event as well as exhilarating, as Debbie mentioned. We're going to have a gospel comedian that will be Minister Tracy Withorn. We're going to have a dynamic gospel duo, and that's David and Stacy Crawford, along with, of course, our opening session that will be convened by Dr. Cole, Dr. Dorinda Clark Cole of the Clark Sisters, one of the most talented and gifted evangelists and vocalists in the world. And she's going to lead us into our opening session.
So Deborah, there are going to be many aspects of this event, but underlying it all is going to be faith and the Christian approach to life.
Absolutely, absolutely. We want women from all ages and all, creeds to come in and to see exactly, even though they might be a little down, even though they might be a little out, we want them to feel that God has a special plan for them in their lives. And if they stay in their lane, as we're going to help them through this journey, we're going to use the Bible, we're having Bible studies, we're having a marketplace where women are going to be able to buy fineries that women in the city have made. And then we're going to have a rejuvenation and relaxation time for the women. And it's going to be just a wonderful, wonderful time that the women will be able to find that a refuge.
This is going to be October the 31st and November the 1st at the Marriott East. Is that a weekend, by the way?
It is a weekend, yes. Friday and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday at the Marriott East. Now, that's the one at 26,300 Harvard Road in Warrensville Heights, right at I-480.
480, yes, 271.
Whatever the highway is, you know where I mean. The new Marriott East in Warrensville Heights. So you want women to go there and walk away with something. What's the cost of all of this?
Well, we have a special September offering for non-members of the Citadel. We've opened it to the public as well. And so now we're asking if they'd like to come on Fridays, then they could come to the Club Soteria, the banquet, which is going to be sumptuous. The food there is sumptuous. And then they will also participate in the program. If you want to stay overnight, you can participate in our pajama party. And you can wear your most luxurious loungewear as we have, fellowship, of course.
Karen Butler, this truly is a girls' night out.
Girls' night out.
Girls' overnight out.
Overnight out, true. Because, women tend to be nurturers, and as a result of that, we often become consumed with taking care of the needs of others, and we sometimes neglect our own needs, whether they're physical or emotional, and of course, spiritual. And this workshop is designed to minister to those needs.
That's going to be a Friday and a Saturday. And I'm going to put a phone number on the screen right there, 216-373-2151. You see that at the bottom of the screen. Or you can go to clevelandchurch.org. Clevelandchurch.org. All of this is sponsored by the Cleveland Church of Christ, right there on East 105th Street in the Glenville area.
Right in the neighborhood.
Yeah, leave us with a thought in our final 15 seconds.
Yes.
why this is so vital.
This is so vital because as women, we want to make sure that we, first of all, serve the Lord with gladness. And we understand that we're fearfully and wonderfully made. But along this journey, we have to also empower other people as well. And so we want to make sure that we get the blessing as well as others.
It's going to be the Cleveland Church of Christ Citadel of Hope Ministries presents the 2014 Women's Conference. It's going to be October the 31st, Friday, and November the 1st, Saturday, at the Marriott East on Harvard Road in Warrensville Heights. You'll have a good time. The phone number's on the screen at the bottom of the screen. You might want to hook up with them because these are good women, and there'll be more good women along with them. It'll be a wonderful, wonderful event, I guarantee.
Great.
Many thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to have you on the broadcast. I'll be right back in just a moment with Marcia Maccabee of the Urban League. As the radio and television announcers always say, brought to you by the good people at the Urban League of Greater Cleveland. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Marcia Maccabee. Hey, Marcia.
Hey, Leon, how are you?
I'm okay. I bet you've got something to talk about today.
Yes, I do. And thank you for the opportunity. I'm really pleased this morning to understand that the ruling about abolishing Golden Week for voting, which is the time when individuals can both register and vote at the same time, that decision has been overturned and that Golden Week is going to be restored, and that is great news in our community.
I know you've been pushing for that, and I know the Urban League has long been pushing on the importance of voting and people having access to the ballot throughout the week, throughout the month, having easy access to the ballot.
Absolutely, and we tell people all the time that really the power of the vote is really the key. That is the next stage of the civil rights movement. We have to be able to impact who represents us, what laws are put into place that protect us, and who can speak to the needs that we have in our communities.
I think it was a Reverend Jesse Jackson who was saying a voteless people is a hopeless people. I think he's the one who if
that
he didn't,
sounds like a Jesse Jackson.
It sounds like
Yes.
But that's the truth, and people need to use that vote because that is the bedrock of democracy.
That's exactly right, and as you always say, the people rule.
The people rule. That's exactly
right.
what democracy means. The people rule. So you're pleased about this?
We are.
This overturning.
We are, and we're going to encourage our communities now that we have that Golden Week. Let's get out there. Yeah. Let's show up and out in record numbers.
Okay. Many thanks, Marcia Maccabee.
Thank you.
Always with words of wisdom from a great, great woman here in Cleveland.
Thank you, Leon.
Oh, my pleasure. Good to have you with us, everybody. Take care. I'm Leon Bibb.
Kaleidoscope, a weekly public affairs program brought to you in partnership with the Urban League of Greater Cleveland, Kaleidoscope Magazine, and News Channel 5.